up? What up? Happy Wednesday. We are back for another episode of the Grid and Grind Show. Tonight, we are talking to Alexis Turpin of the Carolina Flight. The first time we've had an athlete from the Flight. I'm excited because in a few days, the Flight are going to throw down for the first time, and Alexis is going to take the grid with the Flight for the first time. So we're going to get her story. We're going to talk all things this weekend in Lakeland coming up. But before she joins us, today's episode is being brought to you by the Middle Game Performance Coaching, Jesus One Apparel, Chinook Sunflower Seeds, and Old Dominic Distillery. With that, we got to get to it. We got a lot to do. We got a hard stop time. I was told by the general manager, Vilma Gray, that we needed to be done by 7:40 so that Alexis can get to her team meeting, and if there will be hell to pay if she's not there on time. So with that, help me welcome on Alexis Turpin. Alexis, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I am blessed. My feet hit the floor this morning, so that's a win. You know, that's always the goal. I have two little girls, one 8 and one 3. So if I can put my feet on the floor every morning, I feel like I've made it. I've done something. We are blessed. So
amen to that.
Yeah, I know. You got some fans. You got some fans out there already. I don't know if you know John Turpin, but he's here.
Hi, Dad. That is my awesome dad. He supports me in everything I do.
Yeah. Mel Cap. Yeah.
Melissa, yeah.
Welcome everybody. Yeah, welcome. So I gotta start with this. Okay. When I have athletes on, I'm always doing some perusing of socials just to learn a little bit about you. And the first thing I see on your Instagram is you only wear toe socks. What does that mean? Oh, Lord. Oh. So please explain, like, at what point do you say, you know what, regular socks aren't good enough for me, I need toe socks?
I bet everybody's like, wow, what in the world, her feet? Yeah, about 14, 15 years ago, I was running a lot and I sweat a lot and I was getting blisters, and there were toe socks on sale, like a buy one, get 3 free, because nobody liked them. And I tried them out, and it's like a little hammock for each toe. So I went and bought out the whole store, and I have only worn toe socks since.
I mean, like, I guess Christmas, like, you always, you get socks for Christmas. Like every year you get your nice little pair of toe socks,
Only toe socks now. I even have the high long socks, the compression socks. They're toe socks as well.
This is wild. So how long? I mean, I guess you perfected it. I mean, not that putting socks on takes long, but like, I would imagine that putting toe socks on takes significantly longer to put on. Like, you have to put each individual toe in each individual little spot. Like, this is wild.
Only if you take the socks off the wrong way and wash them inside out. That makes it harder. Then you have to flip it in and pull every toe out.
That would be a pain.
Yeah.
Lauren says she's excited for this. I don't know if she's excited to hear about toe socks in our conversation right now, or just
she knows about my toe socks.
You are any toe socks companies out there. Alexis is looking to sponsor you as long as they control the sweat in her feet. She's good to go. But enough of the toe socks. Really, we got to talk about you, and you have quite the resume. You got an MBA. You're anesthesiologist assistant. You're in school for that. You're going to finish up here in August. You're a nurse. You're a CrossFit Games semifinalist, and now you're adding professional grid league athlete to it. When you look at all that, like, how do you balance life? I just feel like it is hard enough just to go to a 9-to-5 and be an athlete at the same time, which a lot of our grid athletes do, but you're throwing in all of these other things on top of it. How do you balance it all?
There is no such thing as work-life balance. It's like a work-life. Support yourself how you can, when you can, with what you can. Make sure that your team knows what you're doing and how you're doing it. I don't balance anything. I tell my coach that I do what I can with what I have, and we just make it work that way. So,
Well, clearly it's working. You're a CrossFit Game semifinalist. You went to the Legends in Del Mar. We were talking off air about that experience, but for you, what was the takeaway? Being able to compete there and just have that experience as an athlete in general.
I think knowing that I'm doing 60 plus hours a week in a hospital and there the days I'm at the hospital, I don't get to just leave. I As a student, you are told when you can go, and there are some days that I can leave early, and there are other days where I'm there until 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. So to be able to go to Legends and actually compete, I went in giving myself great grace. So I always say I want to treat myself with grit and grace, knowing that I'm going to do what I can to the best of my ability. And where I lack, it's not a failure. It's knowing that I have an opportunity to grow. So I walked in so scared, I was trembling. And I walked out knowing that I took risks. Sometimes those risks didn't work out the way I wanted to, but I now have a game plan for the future.
Well, and I think two things it does. The first thing is it proves to you that you can do both. And I think as much of your time is being eaten from a professional standpoint, you will eventually get more time back because those things will become less and less. But secondly, I think you people have to look at it as an inspiration. Like if you can do all that and train and have the mentality where you're going to do what you can do with the amount of time that you have, you're going to go in there with the right intensity, you're going to go in there with the right purpose. And if it's 45 minutes, it's 45 minutes. If it's 2 hours, it's 2 hours. Like I think that's pretty remarkable, but I think it's also inspirational because there are people out there that really fight that battle on a day-to-day basis.
It's so true, and I really do believe that when you want something, you can't cry about the times that you don't have in order to accomplish it. You really need to take advantage of what you have now. And the days that I leave and I'm so tired and I'm getting out of the hospital at 7 and I'm like, okay, I can do something in 30 minutes. Is that a jog? Is that figuring out what I'm going to do for grid? Or is that going home and resting the mind? And you just have to stick with one thing and do it and wake up the next day and it's a new day. It's not a failure. It's just learning how to go through all of these barriers and adversity with the right mindset.
I think it's tough too because when let's say you choose to rest, because that's what I would choose every time. I would just be like, you know what, I'm just going to kick my feet up and rest. But when you choose to rest, like you have to buy into your own decision and go, okay, this is what I'm choosing. I have to be okay with it. I can't beat myself up because I didn't go and lift a weight or do some type of Olympic lift or pull ups or whatever it is. Like you have to be intentional about what you're doing, but also be okay with the decisions that you make, even when it may not be in the gym. Lauren says, you're Wonder Woman. So inspiring. I tend to agree with that after everything that I heard, but I do want to hear more about this fitness journey. So, where do you find fitness in your life? Is it early as a kid or is it later in life? Like, where do you go? You know what? I love the gym. I love being fit.
I think that when I was younger, my parents were from a very small town and they put me in boys baseball. So my mom has always been one of those people where if a man can do it, a woman can do it. Uh, you're just going to have to do it. So from trying to keep up with the boys in baseball and then going into soccer, and my dad was a really great wrestler when he was in high school, and being able to see that not only in sports but how they're such hard workers really pushed me to be a hard worker myself. And I think that I took that out into my sport and, of course, my jobs. Um, I wasn't allowed to play based off of going into nursing school a sport in college, but I was allowed to do a lot of co-ed activities. So I did co-ed soccer, and playing with a lot of my friends from Nigeria and Italy just led me to, like, I want to push myself harder. I want to make sure that I can do that. Um, and I just kept growing into that. And I wanted to try something new every 6 months. And I became a Les Mills cycle instructor, and I started cycling and doing triathlons. And that, it's like I don't know when to stop is the hard part, which is makes recovery hard. And I've learned that. Um, but I never had that one sport where I was like, oh, I am really good. I am a, we have amazing athletes on our team that did D1 soccer or rowing, which is awesome. But I never had that. I just kept becoming uncomfortable, getting comfortable being uncomfortable in situations where I'm learning how to do a sport and growing into it.
Yeah, I think one of my and this is just me growing. I grew up in Tennessee. So you have seasons. And for me, I was a baseball player and I went to college and played baseball and very blessed in that realm. But I think a lot of my success in baseball was because I also played basketball. I also played football. I played multiple sports. I wasn't just fixated on one thing. I did a lot of different things. And I contribute that to being very seasonal in the weather and not being able to be outside as much, but also my love for fitness, I think, much like you, grew from those things because I just wanted to do something, and it didn't matter to me. We could be playing, ping pong. Like I don't care. Like we're gonna do something. So I can definitely understand. Um, when does lifting weights or CrossFit or just being in a weight room in general, when does that take place?
Oh gosh. So I ended up taking I received a Fulbright grant to go to Colombia and teach at their national university in Bogota. And as I went down there, I had found an apartment that was a little too far away from the university. And I'm walking along the street and I see this black and yellow building in Bogota, and it says Bikingo Box. And I was like, okay, this is not a large gym. This is something small. And I bet that if I go and I ask them if I can do a class, there will be enough people to where I can find friends, but I can also work out. So I send this text crying in the street. Hello, my name in Spanish, I'm like, hola, me llamo Alexis. Hello, my name's Alexis. And I am looking for a family. And I sent that to the gym. I'm just looking for a family. And the person answered back and said, come tomorrow at 5:30. I went in, it's a super small gym and maybe 30 feet by 15 feet ish on one side. I remember we were doing burpee box jumps and I couldn't do 5 without dying. And I'm laying there on the ground and there's all these people about, mid 20s, 30s watching me. And they said, you could be good. The coach, Willie, looks down at me. You could be good. Come back tomorrow at 7:30. I want you to do the lifting class. Went back the next day, and I have pictures of me with a trainer bar and 5-pound weights on the side or 2.5, learning how to snatch. And that was in 2019 in
Wow.
August. And
And
there
here you are. Look at see you go from your dad saying you can field a ground ball at third and run to first and tag the runner. Like that's when dad knew like you had a little something special in you. Like to now, like you
Yes.
are a CrossFit Games semifinalist, which is just unbelievably impressive. You know, as you know, that is one of many stories where like I think that's the beauty behind CrossFit. Say what you want about what it is, what it's become. I found when I moved to Tampa that CrossFit is where I found my people. I found my friends, people who were in my wedding, that people that I've seen, get married, people that I was in their wedding, people that you see buy their first house, have kids, and like it's just still this awesome community. And when I hear you say, that's you were looking for a family and you were in Colombia, and like it just translates globally so well. And I think for that reason, that family, that community, that social aspect that I think gets lost a lot, especially when you're high level competing, which, that's important. But also, I think you got to remember the whole reason why you got into it to begin with.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story. So, in the midst of all that, you inevitably, the guy was right. You could be good, and you were very good. But at what point now, I would say probably pretty recently, does grid, or when did you find out about grid?
Yeah, so I had seen these Instagram. I'm not a TikToker, but I'd seen things pop up on Instagram and I was like, wow, they're doing some really wild stuff. I wonder if I could do that. And it turns out that one day I did a competition with a buddy of mine's practically my brother now, Darius, who is on our team, called him and had him come to Tampa to do a competition with me. And there was a guy there that said, man, you should really come and see what we do in grid. I popped over and watched what they were doing and did a couple things. And unfortunately, I had dislocated my shoulder a couple weeks afterwards, and that was the end of that. But I was still curious about it. And that's when I started working with my coach, Guy, at CrossFit West Chase, rehabbed my shoulder with one of my sponsors is the AWC Chiropractics and Sports Recovery. Worked with Dr. Andy Whitney, rehabbed my shoulder, got my shoulder back in, was working with my coach Guy, and I did a competition with Vilma, a camp competition. First time I met Vilma was in Ocala at her gym in eFit, and we worked so well together. And I knew Vilma was doing grid, and nothing ever came of it. But the way that we communicated in this competition, I could tell when she needed help, and she could tell when I needed help. And we were doing things that were so fast paced that we just flowed. And February, I'm not sure of the time, Vilma called me and she said, hey, I thought of you. I want you to do grid. I think you would be awesome. I believe in you. And I was like, Vilma, what? You really think so? She was like, yeah, we have this team. It's the Carolina Flight. And I remember when we did this competition, and I just think that you would be awesome at this. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it.
You see, just like you said earlier, you do too much. You do too much. And I think let me ask you this. Had it been someone other than Velma, would it have been easier to say no?
Yes, I would say
But
so. But here's the thing is that everything that I do in life, you know how people say, oh, I do this because my haters tell me I can't, or this person said I couldn't do it, so I'm gonna no. I don't listen. There is no hater surrounding me. The only things that I do are with people that believe in me. Willie said I could be good at CrossFit. I kept it up. Guy, my coach, said he believed in me. He thought I could be excellent. He gave me the resources and the training. He works with me. He believes in me too. Vilma calls me. Vilma says, you could be great. I believe that you can do this. I'm going to help you. I'm going to make sure you can. So everything that I've done is because people have believed in me. And with Vilma, she's just one of those people where she knows exactly where you're going to be good at. And she can say, hey, I know this. I've seen you do it. I believe in you. And she's just one great at convincing people, but but two, she already knows me and we've already competed together. Where if someone random had called me, it would have been so easy to say no.
Yeah, very true. Um, so when you take this information to your coach, to Guy, you go, hey Guy, I want to do grid. How does that conversation go? Because I've had mixed reviews about, CrossFit athletes that start grid and they bring this information to their coach and they're just like, oh, shit. All right. What now? All right. So how does this conversation go?
Okay. I said, I'm not going to do any of the crazy stuff. I promise. I won't be flipping on rings. That was a no. I was like, you guys have, we have great gymnasts. I mean, Aiden, Lucy, um, all of them there, they know how to do that stuff. And I said, that's their thing. They're going to be phenomenal at that. I'm not going to be lifting the heavy weights. We have Jordan. She's fantastic as well. That's her thing. I fit in as utility here and there, spice things up. We'll see if it works. Not going to get hurt. He's okay.
Fair enough, right? So, okay, you mentioned some of your teammates. We gotta get into this. You guys have been practicing. How has practice been going? Because obviously, I think you're in Tampa, and there's athletes kind of all over the area. Is it a digital practice or online, or are you guys meeting in person? Like, how are you guys practicing, and how's it going?
So a lot of things are online. Like, hey, I tried this. You tried this. Hey, I tried this. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to try it that way. Yes, we did do a camp in person. I unfortunately couldn't be there. I had to be at the hospital. So for me, it's going to be making sure that I can mesh well. But from what I saw from the camp, I think that it's going to be a really awesome and great start. Obviously, being a new team, there's going to be road bumps, but that's learning.
Yeah.
You learn and then you pick yourself up and you keep going.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I've talked to a lot of athletes, and I'll give you an example. The Bandits. The Bandits were new last year to the league, and funny that I mentioned the Bandits. You'll get to know them very well.
Yeah.
Um, it's the same thing. Like, we've done all these practices, we've had a camp, but like, we really don't know until we get out there. And yeah, there were a couple people that had been on the grid, but like, the person that and the people that you're on the grid with matter. And so being able to mesh, being able to like get some fluidity and some unison and coordination and communication, right? Like, those things are important. So like, I can understand when you say, hey, like, we're gonna get better every time we get out there. But I think you got one thing that I will say is, I think your roster for the flight is full of athletes that are going to be really good at adapting very quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I mean, Cody's not new to this. So he is bringing these ideas, and there's a lot of things that we send off to him that he has just great ideas about. But also, we have the Billingtons as well. And I've been able to go through and actually see how they, on YouTube, how they work in the past. And they have these just really good ideas, and they're able to know, like, hey, this is how we need to do this and this is how we need to do that. And we also have, which I say a lot because when I'm at the hospital, I don't get to respond back quickly, but I go through and I see, we have a guy named Lane. Great. I love being able to see how he does his videos, because he can set things up and then show. And for me, it actually makes it a lot easier, because when I go through the setup, it's already done by him. I don't have to
Yeah.
fumble because I don't have a lot of time. So we have this just great, for me, a really great team where I'm able to adapt well, not being able to do as much right now because of my schedule.
I mean, it's probably I've heard about these team group threads, and like, I could imagine it takes you like half an hour just to go through all the text at the end of the day, like, because literally, like, teams were like, "Oh, our group chat is popping," and I'm like, "Well, what does that mean?" oh, we get like 100, 200, 300 texts a day. And I'm like, that's too much. That is just too much.
I send
Um,
a picture of myself every now and again and just in my uniform and my cap. I'll get
yeah.
back to you guys.
So you mentioned Cody. Had Cody on the show, and I talked to him. Obviously, um, knows a lot about the sport. Been around the sport for a while. Coming back to it, what's it mean to be a part of a team that he's directing?
He is a phenomenal speaker. I felt like the first time that he popped on and we actually chatted, I was like, dang, that guy can talk. He has this way to
Yep.
motivate. I'm like, I feel like I'm like guns ablaze. I'm like, let's go.
That's the
um,
one thing I was telling people about. They were like, "Hey, what are you looking forward to the most this weekend?" And that was one of the questions I was asked by somebody, and I was like, to be honest, like outside of the new teams competing for the first time, I'm ready to listen to Cody say something to the team and see what happens. Because I agree with you wholeheartedly. When I had him on, like he was just talking and I could just felt myself just getting ready. Like I think I needed to go work out like after we were done. Like I was like, this guy's I don't know what he just brainwashed me or something. I don't know, but
we
he's definitely got it.
it doesn't mean a lot to men, but it's like when women hear the song "Let's Go Girls," dun, 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 dun. It's like all of us women come in full force. It's like that for a woman. I'm sure it was
Absolutely.
a man's theme song that
When you look at grid in comparison to, CrossFit, obviously there's some elements that translate very well, but there's a different structure. It's race based, and while CrossFit has speed and time domains, and it is kind of race based too, they're very very different. When you have been practicing some of these elements, what do you feel like is the hardest thing that you've had to work on, or what's the hardest thing that you've come across?
I think for me, as a CrossFit athlete, I am one of those people that will work out to no music. And people say that it is because I'm crazy, but for me, it's a mental thing where I could go, you want to go 40 minutes? Let's go 40 minutes. But now I have to take away the pacing side into, okay, how do I make this fast, the rep count, and still make it across the finish line ahead of somebody else? And that it's like getting those fibers in
Yeah.
my body ready to do it. So it's a big switch.
Yeah. What has been the easiest thing for you?
That is a good question. I would say, and I hate to say this, let's knock on wood, but the barbell cycling has been easier than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I'm knocking a lot on wood because I don't want to burn out this weekend.
Well, I mean, the thing is there's standards and there's speed and there's the line between meeting the standard and going fast. And that's where I think the dividing line between, you know, picking it up real quick or having that
Oh, I
learning
lost
curve.
you.
I think you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
I can. I can.
That's
It's all
what
good.
happens when the office is connected to my husband's phone.
No worries. No, I was saying, I think the barbell cycling, the dividing line is finding what the speed at which you can go really, really fast, but not too fast where you're not meeting standard.
Yes.
And I think with CrossFit, because everything is standards based, like you have a standard for each element, and there is some speed that goes to that. I think you guys adapt pretty quickly to that. Now, is it as fast as other people? Maybe not, but over time, I think you can build that speed because you are in it or you see it. Um, I'm excited to see, because when I look at the roster, like I said, there's a lot of really good athletes, a lot of CrossFit athletes on the flights roster. I'm excited to see how quickly you guys adapt, because I will stand on this. I think you guys are going to adapt very quickly to grid. But for you, when you look at this being the first season for the team, but also for you, from a personal standpoint, from a just Alexis Turpin standpoint, what is an expectation or a goal that you have for just this first season? Or is there one? Or are you just going to go out and just go, hey, I'm going to just do my best?
I mean, I am going to do my best. Like I said before, give myself grace, but not excuses.
Right.
There's a lot of things, which is why Cody is awesome, that I have to reach out to him about personally and say, hey, is this an okay standard? Is there a way that I can make this faster while it's still being an okay standard? And he has that insight because he's done it for so long that he already knows how to coach, especially us coming from CrossFit, which has been really great. The one thing that I hope to be able to do well is the transitions. That's the one thing this season that I want to make sure I understand. And that's a lot of watching the YouTube videos, but it's going to be a lot of communication from Cody and Vilma on when and how to transition correctly.
Yeah, it is one of the things that can make or break you. It is, those transitions are that important. The communication piece. I mean, if you're talking about all the intangible things outside of actually doing the work fast, it is the communication. It is, the ability to listen to your body, listen to your coach, move the way you're supposed to move, and the technicalities of like 4-point touches and where to go and where to be in certain times. All of that adds up. And I think if you guys can master that, I think you guys have a really, really good shot of being very competitive this weekend. And, who knows, if the races fall the right way, you guys could find yourself with a W. Which, hey, that would be awesome too, coming out in the first match, picking up a W. From a team standpoint, what is the expectation for the team when Cody and Vilma talk to y'all and they say, hey, like, this is what we're looking for? Is it win every match because we're competitors and that's what we want to do? Or is it like, hey, like a more softer, realistic, hey, we just want to get better and we want to improve and we want to be, whatever at the end of the year?
Well, we're not softies. I think for right now, this opportunity is to make sure that we fit the pieces together correctly to win.
Yeah.
So it's making sure that we learn about each other and where we need to fit well, but that's a lot of communication from our part. Like seeing, how Haley Joe does something, how Madeline does something, how Ryan does something, making sure that we find the right person for those. And that's a lot of communication. So hopefully we build the right formula to come out and win. Yeah. And if not, guess what? It's not a failure. It's learning how to rewrite the equation to come out with the right one. So
there you go. For the record, wasn't calling y'all soft. Just saying a softer approach by being like, hey, we got better today. It's our first match. Hey, at the end of the season, we've gotten significantly better, this and that. Not you're soft. Just want to clear that up. I don't need any of the flight. I don't need anybody on the flight coming after me talking about, we are not up in here. Not today. When you look at this weekend, you guys are taking on a Bandits team who now is 1-0. They picked up their first match win a few weeks ago in Miami against the Palms, in a match that I don't know if you had a chance to watch them, but it was a match that they had to win at the very end because they threw a bonus flag. They had to make up 7 points in the last 3 or 4 races just to even get it done, and they got it done. But I will say this about the Bandits: they stole that victory because they wanted it, but also they have consistently improved from week to week from season one, from their first season to now. And I think they're in a very good spot to continue that growth. When you look at that, what is the message to the team as far as, hey, like, this is who we're going up against, this is what we have to do? Or is there no talk about the person on the other side of the grid and it's just focused on the flight?
No, I mean, and I think it's always as a team standpoint, like let's say you play soccer,
Yeah.
you already have an idea of the weak points and the strengths of the other team. If you're thinking about how you are going to manage the situation, what's the strategy? There's always a strategy based off of what the other team can do. And even in individual sports, you know, my strategy switches if I'm really wanting to come out front. It's not about beating the opponent. It's about how can we change the strategy in order to come out front. So for us, it's going to be the same thing. You know, where are our strengths, but where are the improvements that we might need to do in order to come out front? So we have a strategy based off of what the other team might have and what they might not have.
Right. Is it tough for you guys knowing that you're coming out of the gate first match on Saturday? Would you have rather gone, let me see a couple matches first, or you just say, you know what, enough waiting, I'm ready to just do this?
I think, and a lot of us have a, you know, healthcare, some type of, you know, police officer background. You don't get to decide when you get a patient rolling in or you have to go out and help someone. You just have to be ready. So for me, it's the same exact thing, you know. Oh, all right. We have it at 9:45, or we have it in the morning, we have it in the first match. I got to be ready anyway. I think you're muted.
I was
There you
muted. How about that?
go.
How about that? I've been battling a cold, so I've been coughing, and I've been having to hit the mute button, and I forgot to turn it back on. My apologies.
Okay.
But what I was going to say is, before we get you out of here, anything you want to plug or promote, any shout outs or anything you just want to say
I
before
have
you bounce out of here?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I do want to say thanks to Tier. They did sponsor us with our shoes. We have amazing shoes from Tier. Hard Work Athletics, Jen and Rich were awesome, especially for my semifinals. They have, I mean, I don't know if you can see this shirt, but they have these amazing shirts that they gave us. And more importantly to me, they also give 10% to first responders. So they also do 10% to help with mental health for first responders. So shout out to Hard Work Athletics. And then I had amazing people that decided to sponsor me as well for my first Grid League, which I find phenomenal. And I actually printed off all of their stuff. So I want to say thank you, Turpin Electric. My family did. They've always promoted me and just helped me follow my dreams. I told you about Andy Whitney and the AWC Chiropractic and Sports Recovery. Andy helped me. So Dr. Andy and Dr. Jessica, phenomenal. They are based in Tampa, and they don't just do chiropractic care. They do full recovery. I did 12 weeks with Andy. I thought I was going to have surgery, and I didn't. So shout out to Andy Whitney and Dr. Jessica. And then I also have Oak Wealth Partners. So I don't know if this is backwards or not, but Oak Gen Wealth, Dr. Cece Anthony, she does virtual financial planning. And for me, just with my anesthesia career and all of my competitive athletics, I think that this was phenomenal for her to want to sponsor me. So she helps individuals, families, small businesses, large businesses. They do everything across the country. So it's a financial, they do trusts, they do estate planning, business solutions. She does it all. And her mission is to help build financial freedom. So for me, going into anesthesia is just phenomenal. And then my last but not least, Lauren was the one that was commenting the whole time. She does Wolfpack Method. So for Lauren, Wolfpack Method, she helps women lose weight. She helps them build lean muscle, but more importantly, she helps them create habits that are lifelong. She's phenomenal. So a lot of this is for women. They want to have lasting results without extreme diets. And she has helped me mentally, emotionally, and physically just make it through anesthesia and all of my sports stuff. So shout out to the Wolfpack Method as well.
I mean, when people say, it takes a village, it truly does. Like, you have your people and they are behind you, and it shows. I mean, I think personally, you're a great person, and I think people want to buy into great people. So keep being a great person, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I look forward to meeting you in person this weekend. We'll be at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida, right outside of Tampa. Short drive up I-4. We'll be there. But the Wolves are going to be there with you guys. And it's going to be pretty cool to see for the first time two brand new teams like go at it. Like, they're going to be capping off the day and you guys are going to be starting today, but it just shows you the growth of the league, and it's really fun right now. It's going to be a really good time. But you guys, have a big one against the 1-0 Bandits. You're 0-0 today, but who knows? At the end of the weekend, you could be 1-0, sitting in a great spot. But best of luck this weekend, Alexis. Look forward to meeting you and talking to you. And hey, if I pull you on the sideline for an interview, it'll be during the toughest part of whatever race that you do. So just be prepared for that.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. That is Alexis Turpin of the Carolina Flight. If you like hearing Alexis' story, or you just like hearing average shows talk X's and O's, please share the podcast on Facebook. Head over to YouTube, click like, subscribe, notifications. That way you're first to know when new content is being dropped. And we got a big one this weekend, June 20th, Lakeland, Florida, RP Funding Center. It is all going down. You have the Flight taking on the Bandits. It is going to be hell. It is going to be awesome. It's going to be just madness all weekend. And then you'll get to see all the other teams in action except for the Breakers and who else? I don't know. But you're going to get to see a lot of United Grid League action on YouTube live. You don't want to miss it. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grid and grind all the time. We're out.